sustainable primary care service in the future.
The latest plan for the televised leaders' debates includes the Greens. The party claims to be enjoying a surge in support. A poll for BBC Wales last week suggested they are on the up, but they remain in 6th place. So, will an alliance with another party help them?
And it also shows the importance of combining the idea of Welsh nationality with the ideal of green politics.
A reminder, the Greens have tasted success in Wales before. Cynog Davies was elected in Ceredigion in 1992 on a joint ticket with the Green Party in Plaid Cymru. Today, Plaid, the Greens and the SNP form an anti-austerity alliance and hope to maximise their influence in a hung parliament. The Greens claim to have growing support, but a tricky interview for their leader in England and Wales last weekend won't help. Pippa Bartolotti leads the Welsh Greens and is standing in Labour-held Newport West. I asked her what she thought of Plaid's election campaign coordinator, David Wigley, inviting Green supporters to switch to his party in seats where Plaid has a chance of winning.
Well, I got a lot of time for David Wigley, and I quite understand why he said what he said. But, you know, Green membership in Wales is going up. These are people who've joined the Green Party. They haven't joined Plaid Cymru. And whilst I firmly believe every nation should have its national party, I think the surge in membership in the Green Party is showing me that Greens are going to vote Green.
What does anti-austerity mean in practice? Does it mean not a penny off public spending?
Austerity is an ideological choice. It's not a necessary choice. If 5 years ago the government had taken the decision to invest in public services, invest in green and social infrastructure, we wouldn't be in the problem we are now. And one of the problems with austerity is there is no main opposition to it except for us. So Labour are going with austerity, and bear in mind that most of the cuts are yet to come. They're going to come in the next Parliament. The cuts we've had so far are going to seem like nothing.
But I'm trying to understand what you're offering. I'm just trying to get an idea of whether or not you think the UK needs to get rid of its deficit and rein in spending.
Well, austerity hasn't helped us get rid of the deficit. It's higher now than it was in the beginning. So that isn't the problem. The deficit is something that we can live with, and our fully costed manifesto, which will be coming out in the beginning of March, is actually dealing with the deficit. What is going to happen from a green perspective is that the spending pattern will be different. We will spend much more on, for example, social care and the NHS. We would bring in the citizens' income, which is an entirely new way of looking at helping people. It's probably the most exciting thing to happen since the welfare state.
And are you sure that you can afford it?
Well, our costings are showing it's cost neutral because the cost to administer it is incredibly high, and the cost to do the various types of welfare and benefit are quite astronomical. So we take that into account. We also take into account the fact that the taxation of people receiving the citizens' income will be a little bit higher because that's how we take the citizens' income back into the exchequer. So it's a great empowerer. It will revitalise our society. And just remember that most people on welfare at the moment are already in work. So we've got a problem with a low-wage economy which is not helping people to live, to eat and to heat.
You're also, together with Plaid and the SNP, opposed to nuclear arms. I'll ask you about something else that David Wigley said, comments he's apologised for comparing Trident to Auschwitz.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, no. But Trident has the capacity to kill 320 million people. It will cost the British taxpayer £5,707 a minute. This is not good use of money, quite apart from the fact that 40 years ago, the British government sat with other governments around the world and agreed to decommission their nuclear weapons. So they're not sticking to their own agreements. This whole idea of Trident renewal it scares me on many fronts. First of all, I mean, there is the money, but remember, Trident is based on software. And the new front line is cyber warfare. Small terrorist cells hacking into government departments. It's not beyond the wit of any person to be able to hack into a system such as this, no matter what safeguards they've put in. I find the whole thing very worrying.
You've said as part of your alliance you'd work with Labour in a hung parliament, but not the Tories. Doesn't that box you in a bit? People may as well vote for Ed Miliband.
Well, I don't feel boxed in at the moment anyway. In all fairness, Welsh Greens are not inclined to work too closely with any other party. Because we've been around a long time, we've never sold out our principles for power. And I think people really appreciate that. Look, there shouldn't be a need for a Green Party. We shouldn't be destroying the environment. We shouldn't be watching the disappearance of species at a rate 1,000 times greater than the natural extinction rate. We should not be in this position. We should not have such huge and growing inequality. These other governments have put us in this position. That's why we need a Green Party, and that's why I think a lot of people are going to turn to the Greens, because it's a hope vote and not a vote of fear.
He bridged the divide in Northern Ireland, made friends in all parties and rose above the Labour factions to serve in the Blair and Brown cabinets. And after 28 years as the MP for Torfaen, my next guest has decided it's time to stand down from the House of Commons. He's Paul Murphy, the former Wales and Northern Ireland